What if I told you there is a chapter in the Bible that reveals the hidden secrets of the end times, the fate of the righteous and the wicked, and the eternal struggle between good and evil? This chapter, known as the Vision of Ezra, is a mystical, apocalyptic text that has been concealed for centuries. It is a divine revelation granted to the prophet Ezra, a man revered for his wisdom and deep faith, but whose vision has been shrouded in mystery until now. What if I told you that this vision, which Ezra experienced in a trance-like state, holds the keys to understanding the ultimate destiny of the human soul? Let me take you on a journey through this extraordinary revelation, one that unveils the hidden secrets of the universe and reveals the profound truths that lie at the heart of creation. The vision begins. It was the year 430 BCE, and Ezra, a humble scribe and prophet, sat alone in the quiet of his study in Jerusalem. The air was thick with the scent of incense, and the flickering flame of his lantern cast long shadows across the stone walls. Though he had spent many years in the service of God, writing down sacred laws and recording the divine will, this night would change everything. As he meditated, lost in prayer, something unusual occurred. A sudden, unnatural silence filled the room. The air became dense with an unearthly presence. Ezra closed his eyes, and when he opened them again, he saw it, a glowing scroll that hovered in front of him, shimmering with divine light. The moment his fingers brushed its edges, everything around him dissolved. His body no longer felt bound to the earth. He was transported to another realm. The arrival of the angel, Ezra found himself standing in a vast, celestial landscape, a place unlike any he had seen before. The skies stretched on forever, filled with stars that shimmered and whispered secrets to one another. In the distance, he saw a figure, tall, radiant, and aglow with celestial light. The figure stepped toward him, its wings spread wide, casting an aura of both authority and compassion. "Ezra," the angel spoke, its voice reverberating through the very core of Ezra's being. "I have been sent to show you the secrets of the end times. The time has come for you to witness the fate of the righteous and the wicked, the eternal struggle that lies ahead for all souls." Ezra, both awestruck and fearful, fell to his knees. "What must I see, Lord? What are these secrets that you speak of?" The angel smiled gently. "You will witness the final judgment. The choices made by the souls of humanity will determine their fate, whether they will dwell in eternal peace or be lost in eternal darkness. But the truth behind these destinies is more than you can imagine. Come, I will show you. The righteous, a vision of eternal peace with the angel's words, a vision unfolded before Ezra's eyes. He saw a vast multitude of people, souls who had lived in righteousness, following the will of God, practicing humility, kindness, and love. These were the people who had endured hardships on earth but remained faithful to the divine calling. They stood before a throne of unimaginable majesty, and at its base stood the divine figure of God, his presence overwhelming and pure. As each soul approached the throne, a peaceful serenity washed over their faces, for they knew that their reward was near. These souls, the angel explained, have followed the path of light. They loved their neighbors, they cared for the poor, they lived in truth and humility. Now, they stand in the presence of God. They are ready to receive their reward. As the righteous souls were called forward, each one was transformed. Their physical bodies faded away, replaced by ethereal forms of light. They were granted entry into a heavenly realm, a paradise of unimaginable beauty and peace. The streets were paved with gold, rivers flowed with crystal-clear water, and gardens bloomed with eternal life. There was no pain, no sorrow, no death, only peace and joy. "This," the angel said, "is the kingdom of heaven. This is the eternal reward for those who have walked in the light of God. Their souls are forever free from the burdens of this world." Ezra watched in awe as the righteous souls, now glowing with celestial light, walked through the gates of this heavenly city, greeted by angels who sang songs of praise. The entire realm radiated with an unearthly brilliance, and a sense of eternal tranquility filled the air. It was a place of divine perfection, where all things were made whole. The wicked, a vision of eternal darkness. But as Ezra's soul was still basking in the beauty of the righteous, the vision shifted, and a great darkness fell over the scene. The peaceful landscape dissolved, and before him appeared a new group of souls, those who had chosen to live in opposition to divine will. These were the wicked, the ones who had embraced selfishness, greed, and sin. They stood before the throne of God, their faces marked by fear, regret, and sorrow. Unlike the righteous, there was no peace in their hearts. The divine presence before them was not a comfort but a judgment. "These are the souls who lived in darkness," the angel said. They chose the path of selfishness, cruelty, and sin. They turned their backs on the truth and the love of God. Now they stand before the throne, where their deeds will be weighed. Ezra watched as the wicked were judged. Each soul stood before God, their actions laid bare before the divine gaze. And then the judgment was passed. The wicked souls were not transformed as the righteous had been. Instead, they were cast away, falling into a dark abyss, a void of eternal torment. Flames that were unlike anything from the earthly world consumed them, and their cries of pain echoed in the emptiness. They were lost, cut off from the divine presence forever. Once the judgment is passed, there is no turning back, the angel said. The doors of mercy are closed. The wicked have chosen their fate through their actions. Ezra could not tear his eyes away from the suffering before him, the eternal agony of the lost. Though they wept in regret, it was too late. There was no second chance. The final struggle, the power of choice. As the scene before Ezra shifted again, he was shown something even more profound, the internal struggle within every human being. Within each soul lay the constant battle between good and evil, light and darkness. The vision was not just a prophecy of the end times, but a revelation of the struggle that played out within every heart. The true secret of judgment, the angel whispered, lies not in the final destination, but in the choices made along the way. Every soul is given the freedom to choose the path they will walk. The struggle is not just against external forces, but within the soul itself. Ezra saw individuals wrestling with their own desires, some choosing to embrace the light of truth, while others succumbed to the temptations of darkness. The battle was fierce, and the stakes could not have been higher. The choice between good and evil was not something abstract, it was a living, breathing reality within every heart. The choice is yours, the angel said, turning to Ezra. Every soul has the power to choose. The judgment comes, but it is shaped by the decisions you make in life. Will you walk the path of righteousness, or will you be consumed by the darkness? The return to earth as the vision began to fade, Ezra felt himself being pulled back to his earthly body. The angel's words echoed in his mind, "Choose wisely, for your actions will determine your eternal fate." Ezra awoke in his study, the scroll gone, but the message it carried burned in his heart. He knew what he had seen was not just a vision of the end times, it was a call to action. The fate of the righteous and the wicked was determined not just by their belief, but by their choices. He began to write, inscribing every detail of the vision in sacred scrolls. He knew that the world needed to hear this message. It was not too late for humanity to choose the path of light, the legacy of Ezra. Years later, Ezra's writings spread across the land, becoming a guiding light for generations to come. His vision of the end times became a beacon of hope for the righteous and a warning for the wicked. But most importantly, it reminded every soul that the power to choose was the key to their eternal fate. And so, the secrets of the vision of Ezra remained, hidden for centuries, but now revealed. The message was clear. The ultimate destiny of every soul lies in the choices they make. Will you choose the light, or will you be consumed by the darkness?